Assalamu alaikum students. So today we will discuss the simple squamous epithelium. You know that how we define the epithelium. Epithelium is the collection of closely opposed cells, collection of closely opposed cells with very small amount of extracellular matrix. So this is the definition of the epithelium, collection of closely opposed cells with very small amounts. So closely opposed cells in very small amount of extracellular matrix. Now the simple epithelium is the type of epithelium with thin flattened cells and which are roughly polygonal in outline. The free surface of each flat cell faces a cavity or a lumen, and while the basal surface rests on the basement membrane. So here you can see the free surface is facing a lumen. This is the free surface, and it is roughly polygonal in shape, and the basal surface is resting on the basement membrane. And beneath the basement membrane, there is always a connective tissue layer. Why? Because the epithelium is a vascular structure and it needs the blood vessels to supply blood, nutrition and oxygen to it. And that's why there is always a connective tissue lying beneath the epithelium, which supplies the blood vessels, which in turn supplies the nutrition to the avascular epithelium. Now, each cell contains a flattened nucleus located in the center of the cell. The presence of the nucleus in the central region of flat cell causes the plasma membrane above and below to bulge slightly. So now if we see the squamous cells in the cut section profile, you can see that they are spindle shaped, narrow at the margins and bulging in the center. Narrow in the margins and bulging in the center. So this is the spindle shape. So narrow in the margins and bulging in the center. Narrow in the margins and bulging in the center. So this is how you will make the spindle shape squamous cells, and the nucleus, oval nucleus, lie in the center, and the bulge is due to the presence of nucleus. So beneath these lie the basement membrane, and below the basement membrane lies the connective tissue which contains the blood vessels. So this is the simple squamous epithelium, and its common occurrence it is a common type of the epithelium which occur in the body. Now, chief example of this type of epithelium are the endothelial cells, which cover the locations where they are present in the blood vessels. In the blood vessels, which cover in the blood vessels and in the internal lining of heart. Here it is known as the endothelium. 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 So second place where they are present is the lining of the pericardial pleural and peritoneal cavities. Pericardial, peritoneal, and pleural cavities. Now here again a specific name is given to them, that is the mesothelium. 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 Now, another example, another site in the body where it is present is the most important one, the type 1 alveolar cells in the alveoli of lung. Type 1 alveolar cells in the alveoli of lung. Now, because of its thinness, the simple squamous epithelium allows rapid diffusion of gases and water-soluble molecules. So you can remember that if the examiner asks you where the simple squamous epithelium is present, you can say that it is present at sites where the rapid diffusion of gases, water, and water-soluble molecules are required. So these locations are in the blood vessels, in the lining of the pericardial, pleural, and peritoneal membranes, cavities, and the type 1 alveolar cells in the alveoli of the lung. And of course, the fourth place is the Bowman's capsule of kidneys, where it forms the part of filtration slit. So again, revising the whole thing, simple squamous epithelium. It is a collection of closely opposed flattened cells with very small amount of extracellular matrix resting on the basement membrane. And it has got on, if we see on the surface, it gives appearance of thin flat polygonal cells, but on section, they are spindle shaped here. This is the spindle shape. And this one is the polygonal shape, flattened polygonal shape on the surface view. So now this squamous term is a Latin term derived from the squama, which means scale of a fish. Now here I have put a picture of the scale of the fish. Now these are the scales. You can see that these are also flattened. So they named these squamous cells after the flattened scales of the fish, and they named them as the squama or the squamous cells. Now, So again, how to draw and label the simple squamous epithelium. Okay. So you have to make spindle-shaped cells resting on the basement membrane with narrow parts and bulging part, and then narrow part and the bulging part, and then again the bulging and the narrow. So this is the basement membrane, and resting on these are the cells which have got a narrow and a bulging part. Sorry, we'll make it again. So we will make a basement membrane, and then we will try to make the cells. So the narrow part and the bulging part, the bulge and the narrow part. So this is how you will make the simple squamous epithelium. Nucleus in the center, flattened nucleus, due to which bulge is present. So this is how you will make the simple squamous epithelium, and below the simple squamous epithelium, you will also make the connective tissue and the blood vessels, fibers of connective tissue. And in it, you will draw some blood vessels also. Okay, one point to remember, you have to fill in the cytoplasm also. Okay, so this is how you will draw the simple squamous epithelium. Okay. So make flat spindle-shaped cells with tapering ends and bulging in the middle due to oval nucleus, and beneath the epithelium lies variable amount of loose connective tissue which contains blood vessels. So now the function of this epithelium is to cover the surfaces that allow the passive transport of gases and fluids, and location I have already told you. Okay, I hope you will understand the structure of the simple squamous epithelium and their function. Thank you for now.